Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to RobMotive. Put a video out recently. I've made a decision. I'm switching from either the Tacoma TRD Off-Road or Tacoma TRD Sport, the new 2024 Tacoma, to the Trailhunter version. You know, as I keep looking at these trucks, the one that really grabs me the most has been the Trailhunter version. The Pro's not bad either, but it just has way more stuff on it that I don't want, including that seat thing, the shock absorber seat that they have, the isolation seat, whatever they're calling it. I don't want that, so I'm not going to pay for that. But the Trailhunter has a lot of stuff that interests me, including the looks of the truck itself. So we're going to run through the specs, some of the specs that interest me the most. First off, it has a multi-link coil sprung rear suspension. This is a departure from leaf springs, right? So I'm very curious to see how this rides, how it feels. Now, it's designed for overlanding. Let's get that out of the way right away. But I'm very curious to see how it handles the bumps and the rough roads and all that stuff, because where I live, the roads aren't the smoothest in the world. Next up, it comes with the iForce Max hybrid powertrain. Something else that I decided no matter what trim level I was going to get, that I was going to go ahead and grab, right? Now, what that means, it is the turbocharged 2.4 liter 4-cylinder engine attached to an electric motor, or including an electric motor. That electric motor provides 48 horsepower, an additional 48 horsepower, and 184 pound-feet of torque. That gives us a combined 326 horsepower and 465 pound-feet of torque. This thing ought to be like a rocket, I would think. Ought to be very responsive and very powerful on the takeoff. No more lack of acceleration, I don't think. Next up, it has an 8-speed automatic transmission, and the only downside about this particular trim level, there is no manual available. Now, you can still get a manual Toyota Tacoma, but just not in the Trailhunter version. Kind of a bummer. I was looking forward to at least checking it out to see how that new manual is, and if indeed it is a new manual as opposed to just the same old thing. Nah, not going to be able to do it. Next up, towing. Payload. It's been a big complaint about Toyota going to the 4-cylinder engine. This particular model, towing is 6,000 pounds max. Not an issue for me. I don't tow anything. I don't really care. Payload though, 1,709 pounds. What that means, I'm going to round up. Let's say I weigh 200 pounds. Well, you have to reduce the payload because it's hauling you around too. So mine, with just me in it, would be able to haul, I guess, 1,509 pounds, a little bit more. I don't weigh quite 200 pounds, but you get the idea, right around 1,500 pounds. 4-wheel disc brakes. Now, this isn't going to be specific to the Trailhunter because all Toyota trims are going to have 4-wheel disc brakes. So that big complaint about the brakes on the Tacoma should go away. I thought it was worth mentioning since it comes up a lot. They're taking care of that. Number 5, a 12.5-inch gauge cluster. That thing ought to be pretty darn cool. I mean, it's going to be big, you're going to be able to see everything, and I hope Toyota chocks it full of information. I love having information in tech and trucks. I think it should be pretty cool. It's also going to have a 14-inch multimedia display. In other words, the infotainment system, the radio, all of that will be right there in that great big screen. The only problem I have with that is Toyota's gone with the floating screen concept. So it's going to be kind of an iPad just kind of sitting there in the dash. I've talked about that before. It's how the new Prius is here. It's not too bad. It's not quite as bad as I had thought before, so I think I can live with it. Not really a big deal. Next, we're to number 7 now, by the way. 18-inch wheels. Pretty good size. I'd prefer it was a 16 or a 17, but 18s are not too bad either. They're going to be wrapped in a 265/70 tire. I believe they're coming with the Duratrax. Can't remember for sure, doesn't matter, because down the road, I'll switch them out to Falcon Wild Peaks anyway. I prefer the Falcon Wild Peaks. It's what I'm running on my Tacoma now, and I've had a bunch of the different ones. These provide the best ride and the best traction in at least wet weather conditions. Number 8, it's going to be 2 inches higher in the front and 1.5 inches higher in the back. Now, that's compared to the stock or non-higher trim levels, I guess. So we're going to get a bit of a lift in this thing. Sounds to me like it's the Toyota lift. Didn't see that worded specifically, but it's got to be that lift, I would think. Really looking forward to that. And of course, appearance, love the looks. It's going to have that sport bar. I'm calling it a sport bar. I don't know what Toyota's calling it. But going to have a sport bar on the back. I love those. They look awesome, and I really like the one that's coming with the new Tacoma. Also, it's got a bronze feature to it. Going to have a bronze grille with bronze Toyota lettering and other bronze accents on the truck. Not sure that I'll leave a lot of those. Honestly, I'm a big D Badger, but nonetheless, should be pretty cool, particularly in that kind of brownish, grayish color. Don't recall what they call it exactly, but it is an awesome color for the truck. Should be pretty cool. Lastly, and this is something I have never had before, and honestly I've never had a desire to have, but what the heck, a snorkel. It's going to have a snorkel on the side. I'm really interested to experience that. I don't know if there's really anything to experience with it, unless of course you're running in high water or maybe needing more air pulled in or running out in dusty conditions. I don't know what real benefit it's going to give me, but it does look pretty slick on this truck. And honestly, over the years, I wasn't a big snorkel lover to begin with, but I have to say, the looks of that thing has really grown on me. I've seen some other trucks out there, people that have added them, and it looks pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Anyway, those are just a few things to highlight, I guess, about the Trailhunter that I really like. What's kind of swayed me in that direction. If I'm being honest, aesthetics is the biggest reason. I love the looks of this new truck. And after all, that's the first thing you notice every time you get into it, right? What it looks like. Leave a comment. Let me know if any of these things are important to you, or if you're in the market for this new truck that's coming. Are you looking at the Trailhunter or not at all? I'd be curious to know. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.